Guys and dolls. So yeah, I took two paracetamol and they knocked me clean out. Oh dearie me, never again, never again. Oh man, I took the big paracetamols. I normally only take if I was ever going to take one. I would like if it was really really bad. Katie would say take one, and like the odd time I've taken one, and if it does work. You know what I mean? But it's just something I've never liked doing, so unless it's like this really, really bad, which is very, very few, like maybe once, twice a year, maybe three times a year at a push. But just pure desperation. I was so bad this morning. I took two, and next thing I know, I was starting to feel a bit. I was feeling sick, like feeling really sick. Like oh, it was horrible. And then I just try to try on anything but the tablets because every time I thought about the tablets I'd taken. I was feeling sick. Next thing I know, I fell asleep out like a light. Unbelievable. So, never doing that again. Um, I've had this before with paracetamol, and it's something I forgot about. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and right now I've got like brain fog and that. It's not good, not good, guys. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I say, it's like man flu. Us guys can't handle anything at all. You know what I mean? I can OD and paracetamol. Jeez, oh. But yeah, going to bring a wee video for you because I'm not going to do my live, guys. My head's still. I've got brain fog, and yeah, I'm just not feeling 100%. And I don't want to do a shit live. You know what I mean? Because the lives, I don't want to delete the live. I don't want to delete. I don't want to delete any of my videos. And, I wouldn't want to bring a shitty live, you know what I mean? Just because my head's not right. So this is more controlled, you know what I mean? I feel okay doing this, guys, to be honest with you. And I'm just being honest. I just don't feel confident to do a live, and it's just because my head, I've got like a brain fog and still a wee bit tired and drowsy, I feel like. Weird, very strange. Um, I'll get a wee look at the paracetamol, find out what they are. I think they might have been 500 milligrams. Probably quite a lot in it, for somebody that doesn't take paracetamol. Um, yeah, oh well. But I'm all good. Katie's been round with the dogs. Don't know, they've been playing obviously because they're both sleeping and they've both been fed, because they'd be doing my nothing if they hadn't been fed. Um, but yeah, I was sleeping, so I was. I got a kiss and an I love you, so all good. Everything's good, guys. So got this video here, and I just wanted to bring it to these. It's Joe Rogan, and it's just a wee clip. And these are one of the two most well-known guys in America. They really are like really famous. The both of them like Theo. He's like millions and millions of followers and stuff like that. These are on another level. You've got me, and you've got like Silver Fox and a couple of other ones, and then you got Paz. You know what I mean? Paul Thorpe. Then you got Martucci, and then you've got right up there. You've got the likes of Joe Rogan and all the and a Theo guy. Right, guys. So me and Tulip were just editing the video. So we were, and CapCut. I got a notice up from CapCut and asking me did I have permission. So I'm not going to look too much into it. You know what I mean? Because obviously CapCut probably be getting complaints about me, I imagine. You just don't know, do you? So um so yeah, I'm not going to put the clip on. You know what I mean? But I'm going to put the link in the description for you to go and watch the whole thing. So I'm just going to run by what it was showing you. They're basically talking about Britain. They're talking about Britain and the way everything's going with censorship. Okay, basically that's what it's about. And then they talk about bots. Okay, they talk about bots and you know how and I just they say a wee bit about the bots, and then I add my bit as you see with the video. So it might be a bit confusing because I'm going to be jumping in and out. Because there should be clips. There should be clips where I'm jumping in and out. So please bear with me in this one. It's been a nightmare. This is like an hour and 15 minutes now. You know what I mean? And then CapCut do that to me. You know what I mean? So yeah, obviously I know who I can use clips of certain people because I know them, and or I've already had words with them, and or asked, is it okay? And what I mean, I've had a sort of rapport in comments and stuff. You know what I mean. So I know who you can do and do not what with. You know what I mean. As far as copying is, you know what I mean. As long as I put down their thingy and do all that, you know what I mean. But Joe Rogan, this particular site wasn't Joe Rogan's site. It was a different site. You know what I mean. And I am going to put the link on the description of this site. And I did see as I was editing, there was like a over a particular word. There was a like a it was a change color. The screen changed color when they said the particular word, and I don't know if that was a copyright marker. You know what I mean? I did take that particular word out because I did notice it, and then I thought, no point messing about, but obviously it must have a copyright marker on it. That's what I'm gonna go with. And so CapCut has given me this said to me, right, so you know the rules. Is this stuff? You've got permission for this. So I went yes, because I'm thinking, as long as I hang the guy and all that, it should be okay. The guy, I mean, who's gonna be a wee clip, you know what I mean, to get people onto his channel? Who's gonna thingy that? But you just don't know with some people, you know what I mean? So rather than take the risk of losing CapCut. At the end of the day, I can go elsewhere. There's other editing sites, obviously, but I've got comfortable with CapCut. You know what I mean? So, and let's not piss them off, eh? So bear with me, guys. They're talking about um, they're talking about censorship. They're talking about censorship, and they go in to talk about Twitter and bots. And for people who don't know, bots are like made up accounts. And so basically, what happens is, like in Britain, the Labour Party will have bots that will go out, and I've seen them. You spot them. Everything looks legit, and they can argue with you, and they can reply to you. It's crazy, you know what I mean? But they'll come out and say, the way I spot them is some of them. Obviously, they adapt. They adapt. They're bots. They adapt. They get better and better and better. And when people will leave a comment and go, "You're a bot," then the bot knows they adapt to change, and the bot will reply with a really human reply that will really doubt the person that actually wrote that comment. I'm not kidding you on, guys. They're quite remarkable, and they're not that hard to set up if you're okay, if you know your IT. You know what I mean? So basically, Labour would use bots, are using bots right now, because as you can see below all the posts, I don't know if you're on Twitter, but I'll fill you in, right? So every time Labour, Keir Starmer, any of the top bench of the Labour Party put anything on Twitter, they get slaughtered. And I mean comment after comment after comment after comment after comment. I'm not kidding you on. Okay? Absolutely slaughtered. And I mean from everywhere, you know. Obviously you get the odd one. You get me? I'm not even going to go into that. It's quite telling. But they could be bots as well. This is what I mean. You just don't know, but you do. You sort of get an idea. So, and these bots will also put posts up, and these posts will be something positive about the Labour Party. And it's just a random quotation of like, yeah, I'm quite happy with what the Labour has done so far. And, you're like, what? Because it is like sort of, it stands out because, see, the Labour Party and the Bidens have started doing it, right? This is where it all started. The Bidens have been doing it, right? And obviously, when Labour's been sending people over there to help the Bidens, the Bidens have also been helping them, you know what I mean? So basically, it's like with Labour, they don't really get it. They just think they're going to plow straight on and ignore the whole world, the whole country, and basically the whole world. And their way of doing that, their way of justifying it, is by putting these bots out. So it gives them a sense of, even though they know they're bots, you can't make this up. But it's also to give the few Labour voters, old ones that aren't on the internet and haven't got a clue what's going on right now, and think, surely it's not that bad. There is people out there that genuinely still think that Labour are good for the country. I don't know what to say to that. They watch Sky News and BBC News. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. And it'll also to let them feel that, oh, look, there's still, there's still people out there that actually support Labour. So the bots I'm being flippant here. They do a lot worse than that, these bots. They're a lot cleverer than what I'm telling you, and there's quite a lot of agendas hidden behind it. But, whether it's Labour directly or whether it's one of these, like, sister companies like Hope Not Hate, End Racism. There's quite a lot. The trade unionists, they're all involved in it. These are all students, okay? You got to understand this. These are all students that come through the university, and we know the politics of the students, right? It's clear. They're all leftists, they're all socialists, right? And so with their education, they learn these things, bots and all that, so they do it as well. So it's quite a big problem in the world, and obviously Twitter now with Elon Musk at the helm is getting on top of it, and they're finding ways now of identifying the bots. So it's making it more difficult. Now this is the point I'm going to make as well before I continue. I know I'm going on and on and on, but the point I'm going to make here is that you know this is Labour keep going on about misinformation. They're calling us far right and Islamophobia because we want inquiries, or we're Islamophobia because we're not happy about, you know, the way a certain community is behaving towards us and how extreme they can be with following the Quran, and some of the teachings of the Quran are quite bad, and at the end of the day, I understand we've got bad stuff in the Bible as well, but it does come down to the fact that there isn't Christians running about like I don't know what the figure is, 46,000 attacks by extremism from Islam this year around the world. It might be four times that. I'm being conservative, guys. You can do your research, easy enough to do. Just Google it. How many Islamic extremist attacks has there been around the world this year? I'm quite sure you'll get a figure. I'm going to leave that to you to do. It helps you learn how to educate yourselves. It's for being able to debate. It's for being able to talk about stuff, so you can have an educated debate with somebody. So when somebody says to me, "Yeah, the Bible, has some bad stuff in it," yeah, you're right, it has, but we don't follow it. We're aware that you don't stone people for being gay. We're not. I don't know anybody around me that's ever thought, oh, I think we should practice what the Bible says and let's start stoning people that are gay. It's unheard of. I've been around for 55 years. I've been brought up with Christians. Not one person has ever said that to me or even mentioned it, but it has been thrown at me. So it has. Of course, it has. It's been thrown at me. But yeah, there is a difference, and it's not a phobia. I'm a Christian. I enjoy religion. I'm intrigued by their religion. I'm not scared of it. You know, I'm worried about it. I'm worried about how some of the teachings is taken and practiced by some really bad men, and that's what makes them different from moderate Muslims. There's good people and there's bad people in every religion. Just like I tell you guys, you're either good or you're bad. You know, just like we've got Christians that are false prophets, and bleed people dry for money and pretend that they're speaking the word of God. All over America and Britain, there's examples of that. Just like that, as with Islam, there is bad men that will say they're following the teachings of the Quran, but they're just evil men that want to do evil things, and this is a perfect opportunity for them to do it. And I'm totally aware of that. I'm not stupid. I'm not saying that Muslims are bad and or the tar and feather everybody the same brush. That's mental. But we can't have the conversation because we're constantly being quoted by the Labour government as we're misinformation or Islamophobic or even as extreme as racist because we've got a different opinion of how we see the world. That's all it is. If you can go and watch it, I'll stick this particular video um in the link in the description, and I'll stick the wee hang up so well right now for you, just so those that don't know how to do the description, but you can just type in that. It is, I'm not sure if I imagine it's connected to Joe Rogan, guys. It isn't the Joe Rogan show, but it may be a reaction of the Joe Rogan show. That's where I got it. So I've got to give the guy credit. Yeah, whether he's allowed to copy Joe Rogan, that's down to him and Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Um, but I'm quite sure it's all above board. So yeah. but it's not that long. It's 7 minutes and 48 seconds, so it's not that long a clip for you to watch. You know what I mean? It is, you know, hard to keep track. Um, it is somebody phoning me. One of my mates phoning me. It's basically he's talking about. Sorry. Right. So basically, the bots is two things he's talking about. They're talking about fake accounts, people just making up fake accounts and saying nasty things. You know what I mean? Um, but the bots is a problem. You know, the bots is a problem. Basically, what I'm trying to get across here is about this misinformation. You know, um, bots will spread misinformation, and this has been going on for a long time. And one of my biggest problems are, to be honest with you, is, you know, we are in a very dangerous position when somebody like Stormer or any of them top benches or the front benches on the Labour Party, you know who I'm talking about, Lamy and all that, you know what I mean? It's a very dangerous situation that these men have control of what is misinformation and what information you're allowed to have. And that's been going on an awful long time now. There's been big changes. I don't know if you've noticed or if you know this, but Zuckerberg's done a complete U-turn. So if you've been on Facebook and you came off Facebook because of the restrictions that it showed, I don't know if it's just America. You know, I'm hoping it's Facebook across the board, but you should find quite a lot of restrictions have now been lifted as far as Tommy Robinson's concerned, and posting your opinions. You know, so that's a big step up for freedom of speech. Um, you know, I'm a bit caught between two here with Zuckerberg because he's come. I've watched. I haven't watched it all. I've watched a bit. I couldn't handle it because he's just too nice. He's just too nice for me. You know what I mean? Or something not right. You know, and basically what's happened is Trump's gone into power, you see, and this is the character of these men. So Zuckerberg is basically saying it wasn't me, it was the Bidens. I had no choice, I had to do it, you know what I mean? And, basically blowing the lid off how bad things were, you know? But that's what you expect. That's what I expect. Just like Farad's, the U-turn he'll probably make with Tommy. I expect that from these type of men, you know. And now Trump's and Elon Musk at Twitter, he's like, and everybody's leaving Facebook like I did. And that would hit their pockets. This is what I'm trying to say to you with these social media sites. There's only so far they can go with censorship because we will just leave. You shut us down, we'll just go to Twitter. And they're losing revenue, guys. They're losing too much money, and especially Facebook. They've lost millions and billions. They've lost because of their censorship and the way they push the left wing narrative. And the only people who had voices on Facebook, as far as I was concerned, was um, Hope Not Hate and Racism. Them sort of trade unionists. Anybody that was against the right wing, against conservative, and against Tommy Robinson was given a loud loud healer, whereas people like me were being silenced and getting warnings constantly because I supported Tommy Robinson. So that's changed. That's a big change. We've all noticed the change with YouTube. I'm sure you've all noticed it. That we're able to say grooming gangs now. And you've got to understand this, right? This is what I want you to really think about. When Tommy Robinson was doing this all them years ago, can you imagine the censorship that he dealt with? Can you imagine how hard it was for him? The attacks from the police coming through his door, arresting him over and over again. But not only that, being attacked on every platform, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, by all the left wing, all the far left haters, the absolute extremism, the real extremism in this country, you know. Um, they're closer to the far right than anybody I know, then they're I would say they're more extreme than the far right, or old far right, the far right that are gone dead and buried, guys. I'm not going to mess about here. The far right are gone dead and buried in the whole of Great Britain. Their last stomping ground was Northern Ireland. I'm sorry. Their last stomping ground was Northern Ireland, so I know the far right are finished. And I know it's Lay Storm. I've done videos about it, guys. I've mentioned it. I've talked about it. You've watched it. I know you've watched all my videos, guys. My loyal followers. You know what I mean. So I'm not gonna do your nuts in by going on about stuff I've already talked about. But what I'm trying to say is the press, everything was against Tommy Robinson, and only now are we able to talk about Tommy Robinson. Only now is people doing documentaries on YouTube. Now I brought that guy Diaz the other day. The clips are done about the the contempt of court charges, right? Well, that guy is. Please, I hope you subscribed to him. If you haven't subscribed to him, I'm going to put him back up again. So you subscribe to him. Please go onto his channel and watch his stuff. Give him some love because he's put a lot of work in. He's worked closely with Tommy, and you know he does a lot better job than I do of trying to get the point across of how good a man Tommy Robinson truly is. And when I say a good a man, I'm talking about a good soul. You know what I mean? A good soul who stood up. And it doesn't matter. I'm not caring about the nitty gritty. I'm not caring about his morals, guys. I'm not really. I couldn't care less if me and Tommy were in a room together, we wouldn't get on. That doesn't bother me at all. You got to understand. This is what the problem with a lot of people. They see something in Tommy and they go, "Oh, I don't like that," and that's it. Boom. They're totally anti Tommy, and they're calling anybody who supports Tommy a Tommy tart. You know, this is unused. This is on them, guys. You understand? That's their problem. That's not Tommy's problem. You know what I mean? None of us are perfect. None of us are going to get on. The point I'm going to make about Tommy, and this is why I support Tommy, and this is the only reason I support Tommy, because I've watched the persecution of the man. I've watched over and over again where I would have went, that I'm out of this. I don't need this. I've got X amount of money. I can go over to Canada. I could go to America. I could go here, there, and everywhere and start a new life and work as a really good media journalist. You've seen the stuff we done for Elzera with Rebel News or Rebel Media. Um, yeah, he came on just like Sammy Woodhouse. Took it, not a problem, easy peasy. You know what I mean? And yeah, so he didn't need to do what he was doing, but he kept doing it, kept going to jail, kept getting attacked. You know, I know the fear that he's felt in them prisons. Believe you me, you know He's put himself there. I was put there, right? I had no choice. But he made a conscious decision going into the prison, the most dangerous place he can be, believe you me. And once he comes out of prison, I'm going to explain to you how much danger he's in, because I can't do it right now because I don't want to give anybody ideas or anything like that, because it's just, I would never forgive myself if anything did happen. And I could never, even if it wasn't because of me and I just happened to mention it, then it happened. I don't know how I would deal with that guy. So I'm going to wait till he gets out of prison before I start talking about stuff like that. But I know he knows that. What I know, he knows. And believe you me, this man is one of the most bravest men that I know. I'm telling you that now, and I know some brave men, army men. You know, he's Tommy Robinson is one of the most bravest men I've ever come across in books and whatever. Anything I've learnt myself, like personally met people or read books about people, it's second to none. And that's why I support Tommy Robinson. That's why I follow him. And I know I'm going on to Tommy again, but I'm just trying to explain to you what's been used as weapons against Tommy to keep him silenced. And it's important that we know these things because we've got to stop it happening. We have to stop one particular party having control of the narrative and deciding what's misinformation and what's not misinformation. If we're going to go down to a system where we are going to have a complete attack on our freedom of speech in Britain, then we should have a 50-50 board that sit around the table from both sides, left and right, and deciding then what's misinformation and what's not misinformation, and only what comes out of that room around that table can be said. Well, we've all agreed that that's not right, but unless both sides can agree that it's misinformation and either side can prove that it's not misinformation, and here's the proof, then it can't be called out and people can't be silenced because of that. They can't use it against people and put people in prison, etc., etc., etc. Remember, we've still got a man in prison for saying, I don't care what anybody says, that guy was a Muslim. He's in prison for that. He's in prison for saying that. That's, you know. And then we finds out everything that he was shouting when he was doing it. We finds out he's in the mosque in jail. We find lots and lots out that I can't say. I can only say what's been reported. I've got to be very careful because, you have the trick of this is you can only say what's been reported, what other people have said, you know. Um, I do rely on other people to say certain things first, like Reform, UKIP, politicians, news presenters, GB News. You get me? So, yeah, there's things I do know that I can't say because nobody can say it, because obviously you would get done with a contempt of court and, end up in jail and whatnot because, the judge would be told to put you in jail. We see how it goes. So there's a big problem, huge, big problem where everything's one sided. Yeah, two tier, but it's a bit deeper than two tier. You know what I mean? And it can be quite dangerous when it starts going into the internet and they start controlling the narrative there. And we need to keep going forward, pushing that we're not going to stand for this any longer. And we will learn how to use the internet, learn how to use TikTok, learn how to use not TikTok, Twitter, X, Elon Musk's. You've got to get on there, guys. You've got to get onto that platform. It isn't hard to do. Okay, when you go on there, this is another thing. Lucy, go on and leave me a comment under my video, my pinned video. Who is Freedom Dad? Leave me a comment under there, guys. I will check it tomorrow. I promise. X is just too much for me right now, to be honest with you, right? Um, but I will check tomorrow, and I will make sure I follow everybody that's came from here onto there. I will follow you back, and then we can message each other. Easy peasy. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm just bringing to you guys, trying to get this out in a video for you, for a decent video for you. Sunday night, meant to bring alive, no doing it. I'm feeling a wee bit better now, but still, I just want to be on top of my game, guys. To be honest with you, I'm going to get something to eat and everything. I've had two boiled eggs a day just because I was nearly sick. I was nearly sick, So and it wasn't a nice feeling. It really was. Or I had this vision of This is my problem. Honestly, I had this vision of the capsules opening up inside my belly, and I don't know. It just that happened the exact same time I felt sick. You get me? So that's I had to sort of keep that thought down before I started throwing up all over the place. And I've had a problem. I used to book just even having to take it but when I was younger, and that's why I don't take them. Yeah. And yeah, don't take painkillers. You know, like in prison, I did abuse painkillers like everybody else did. Not an extreme, like, but on a Saturday night, if somebody had a certain type of painkiller that would get you a wee bit high, then yeah, it would get your head over the wall for a couple of hours. And I realized how dangerous they were. I seen the addictive side of them, and they scared me. So I don't take painkillers. God forbid the day I need to take a painkiller. You know, that worries me. You know what I mean? Because I know how bad these things are. You know, it's a road you go down. It's very difficult to get off. And I'm not quite sure some of my followers have probably been down that road or on that road. So yeah, my heart goes out to these guys. It is the world we live in. I can't go down. I can't say any more about it because of YouTube's what do you call it, uh guidelines. I am not a medical expert. I do not give medical advice. Please do not take anything I say about anything to do with medical stuff as gospel. I haven't got a Scooby Doo. I only tell you what I know, what I've been through, and what I've experienced. My opinions. That's all it is. Everything is my opinions. That's what I think. A mad Ulster man. The thoughts of a mad Ulster man. But yeah, hope you like the video, guys. I could talk a wee bit more, but I'm not going to do your nuts in. This is 14 minutes on its own. But just to recap, I am just letting you know that, we are the talk of the world. We are the talk of the world. Everybody is looking at what's going on in Britain. They're horrified. They're horrified of the way the Labour Party are attacking its own people, how they're protecting minorities, over their own community when there's no need to, you know. Nobody's at any risk. Nobody's being threatened, you know. We just want to stop illegal immigration. We just want to deport men who are doing bad things to our children. We just want to have rules and regulations for people who have come into this country to toe the line. And if they don't toe the line, then there's a system in place where they can be deported. So that way, you know, it's no hard. We're asking you to behave in a certain way, just respectfully, the way we would behave in your country. And if they can't do that, then there has to be some sort of law put in place where they can be put back into their own country, where they can behave exactly how they want. Because you've got to understand, they're coming over here and they're doing everything that they do over there here. It doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes any sense to me in this country anymore. It really doesn't. And there's so many respectful people that come from all around the world that walk, live, breathe, work, play football, and drink with us. And they are amazing people. Muslims and all sorts, Christians, Sikhs, Jews, and absolutely amazing people. And it's an absolute pleasure to have them in this country. And you know, if we had a law saying, you know, that you've got to be a certain way, none of these really nice people would ever have to worry. You understand what I'm saying? Guys, you know, it's not rocket science, man. You know what I mean? We've got laws. The laws are there to keep people in line. You know, you rob a bank, you get 18 year. I get 18 year, 18 year. You know, in and out in 40 seconds. And that's nowhere to lie. No longer than 40 seconds on any of them. 18 year. And but seems to be that the Labour Party, the DPP, and Starmer particularly, has set guidelines. I've seen the guidelines. I'm going to maybe bring a video about that on the list of sexual offences that he thinks people shouldn't go to prison for. You know, whether it's him or whether it's the government or whether it's Labour. I don't know who's claiming this one. You need to do your own research. I think all you would need to put in is list the crimes that the Labour Party or the DPP, list of crimes that the DP, a list of sexual crimes that the DPP do not think are worthy of prison time. Something along them lines, and you should find it, guys. You know, on Google search. Um, but I will have a wee look for it and maybe bring it out in a video. I'll throw it up in a video. I've had an absolutely amazing gift, so I have, and I want to show you it. It's from a friend, a really good friend, been a friend for a wee while now. Her mother has given me it, and it's in Noah's Ark. So I'm going to do a wee video on it. You know what I mean? Bringing it throw it out tomorrow, or I'll bring it in my video. When I'll open up the blind and get the light in, get a nice thingy of it, and let you see it, and thank her personally on a video. But yeah, my video is about that, guys. It's about censorship. It's about who decides what people can say, what people can say. It's about people going into prison for saying things, for shouting at police dogs, for saying hurty words at the police. That's ridiculous. I've got my opinion of the police. You know, it's not very good, and I'm not. I'll never be scared to share my opinion with anybody on this channel. Outside of this channel, I'll never. They'll never frighten me of giving an opinion. I'll never be disrespectful. I'll always be truthful with my opinion. You know, and this is what the problem is. You see what I mean? There's you, you, I get angry. Okay, you know that I got a problem with my temper, with my anger, with emotion. You know, not as much as it has been in the past. It is getting better, obviously, with aids and knowledge and help from you and doing this channel. I have got a lot better. But you know, people like me will end up in prison. You know, for vocalizing their opinion in a way that's angry, that somebody else might go, that offends me, whether you swear at them or not. You know, this, you know, that it's getting ridiculous, guys, that people are in prison, you know, and I'm talking about Peter Lynch more than anybody else here because I want to keep him in our thoughts as well as we go through this new year. Um, I still say, with my hand on my heart, I have doubts whether the man committed suicide, and then I also have questions of why the man committed suicide, what drove him to commit suicide in that particular prison on that particular landing, and you know, I think an inquiry. Like I'd like to think that every single prisoner in that landing was interviewed, and if he wasn't interviewed, why wasn't he interviewed? If such a high profile case that's caused a problem in this country, and so many people have been affected by that man's death, and the fact that he should never have been in prison, Doesn't make any sense to me why every prisoner in that wing wasn't interviewed to find out exactly what was going on to drive that man to suicide. But there are questions we're never ever going to get answers to. That's been buried, you know. The only people that know what's happened to Peter will be the people in that wing, in that landing, maybe just that landing, you know, depending what way the landings are. Some landings now are closed off. You can't look down, or a landing is a landing. It's like a wee wing. Back in my day, you know what I mean, sort of thing. Where back in my day at landings, I could shout down to the ones or up to the threes if I was on the twos. You know what I mean? It was open, so everybody knew what was going on. There was no, it was open. Everybody knew. But if the landing's closed off, then everything's confined to that one landing. It can be quite cliquey. You maybe have 50 cells, depending if it's a super hall. They could have 50 cells, up to 100 cells if it's an L-shaped landing, or just one. If it's just a one-shaped straight line, you could have 50 cells in one landing. So, yeah, you know, it is what it is. But R.I.P. Peter Lynch. You're always in his thoughts, and he's always in my prayers, guys. So, on that note, God bless everyone.